Hey, it's Matt Roush,
And Mike Brennan.
and we're back with another Zoom edition of the M Squared TechCast. Welcome aboard.
Yeah, we'd like to show you Dave Phillips' bar. Why don't you give us a quick flash of that, Dave? So he's producing the show. We don't want to. There it is out now. Isn't that inviting? He said when the pandemic is lifted, everybody's invited to his bar. So
This is how I'm maintaining my sanity. This is how it's working. Yes,
absolutely.
He drinks heavily and he's good.
Looks like day drinking is on.
Yes, the drinking light is on. Yes. So, all right. So we got a great show for you today. Most of it is COVID-19 related, but we still have some current sponsors we got to get in there. One of those are Tamara Shoemaker from the University of Detroit Mercy, and she does her Cyber Patriot program. Why don't you start off with explaining that, and then we'll go into the summer camp. This may be the first time folks have heard of Cyber Patriot.
Sure. So Cyber Patriot is a national competition that's run from October until February, March. Usually they hold the national championships in March. It is a very inclusive cybersecurity competition for middle school and high schools. It takes only 2 to 5 players to play. And again, they play in rounds all the way until February. And then the top 28 teams are flown into Maryland. And they go head to head, and they do Microsoft, Facebook, Cisco, a bunch of challenges. They have red teams that are there attacking them, and it's real live fire at that point. And the winners, take trophies and take scholarships home, and that kind of thing. The normal rounds each month are virtual, and so in this kind of a situation, we could continue on. But we were interrupted. Our finals was interrupted this year. It's been rescheduled for May 5th. Because of the coronavirus and everyone having to be separate. And so they aren't flying them into Maryland this year. This is the first year and hopefully only year that we'll have to do the actual championship virtually as well.
That'll be interesting. Will that be live so people can watch?
I think so. May 3rd, they've took a month to sort of get together with their sponsors and get together with the folks that do the challenges and that kind of thing to sort of figure out how they're going to do it. Because it is a team sport, so 1 to 5 players play. So now how do they do that distantly? That part had to be figured out. How do they interject all of the other things into it? And so they've got it all figured out, and they're going to go May 3rd.
Now, do they have the kids build like websites or something and have people try to hack into them, or what's the nature of the competition?
No, it's almost like they are the admin team for a small company, and so that company has already a company online that has both Linux operating systems and Microsoft operating systems, a Cisco network. So all of the normal things that you would see a small company running, they have to run and protect now. Now they have to find all the vulnerabilities in that system and protect it, and then also protect it from the red team or any other things that end up happening in the daily business that would happen, in the traffic that would normally happen.
So it sounds pretty realistic then.
Right. It's the whole point is this is real online or hands-on, real live, what we would expect some folks to be able to do in cybersecurity.
Now, how is this going to impact your summer camps? I mean, clearly none of us know how long this is going to go on.
Right. Right. So normally our summer camps are face-to-face, right? And they're a 5-day, half-day camps. And then the last day we have a smaller version of the competition. And those kids are competing against nationwide, just like they would in a regular season, but only against the kids that are playing that week in summer camp. But so this year what they've done, because they were able to push forward the national championship distantly, they were able to put some things in place that now we'll be able to do the summer camps virtually as well. Okay. So we have several locations across Michigan that we'll be running them in, but we'll be able to do it in a virtual space should we need to. Now, if for some reason we get the all clear, all of those venues that we have across the state will then go face to face. But otherwise, we've got it all planned out so that they can do it virtually.
So what are the locations in Michigan, for these summer camps?
So we have a lot. So we have Battle Creek at the Air National Guard Base. They have 2 weeks, so both July 20th and the 24th. We have it up in Traverse City at the Michigan Northwestern College. They also are doing both weeks. Grand Rapids, the WMCAT is also doing both weeks, and we have it in Ann Arbor at Washtenaw Community College. They're doing it just the 1 week. We have the Macomb ISD out in Clinton Township, and they're doing, not only are they doing both weeks, but they're doing 2 different sessions each week, one for just middle school, one for high school. This is all open to middle school and high school. We're up in Marquette, Michigan, at Northern Michigan University. We're over in Northville at St. Paul's Lutheran Church and School. The Oakland Tech Centers are running one in Pontiac, Royal Oak, and Wixom. Lapeer schools are running some, and Romeo schools are running some. So all of that stuff can be found on www.michigan, so MICyberpatriot.com for all the links for registration for those.
And then you have all the dates listed there as well and all that?
I do. Yep, absolutely. And all the registration links are all there and ready to go. So all you have to do is click and go ahead and go through and register your son or daughter.
Okay. Let's see what else. So how many folks have gone through that program so far?
So, 5 years ago we started, there was only 4 teams playing in Michigan when we first started. By the end of that season, we had 25. This year we had 182 teams, so we've had over 900 kids go through. And then in the summer camps, they've been increasing as well. So this last year we had 250 kids go through the summer, but now with this many camps and the fact that we're going to be doing it virtually, we're just going to blow the roof right off of those past performances as far as being able to do this. The really cool thing about this is we always needed a lot of volunteers to run these programs, and we still do need some volunteers to do that, and we still need sponsors, but that's cut things way back as far as that goes. The only downside that we have as far as this is going is that normally this is very inclusive, right? It's very cheap and very easy to run, and our camps normally we supply all of the PCs and things like that. So now a person will have to have, in order for a kid to do this, they'll have to be able to have a PC at home to be able to log on and be involved. And that's the only downside as far as I'm concerned about, how we're going to go through this summer, is the fact that, if they don't have a personal PC at home, then they won't be able to come to the camp. And that didn't used to be anything that we had to worry about because we supplied them.
So how can our listeners help this program? What kind of help do you need?
So we need folks that are actually cybersecurity people, because I really truly believe in both during the summer camps and then when our season starts again in fall. I really believe that these kids, we can tell them over and over again as instructors and as teachers that there are good possibilities for jobs and careers in this area, but it really becomes live when they can see themselves there. So being able to step up and become a mentor and step up and be a volunteer for this, where they can see them and they can, it becomes real. They can talk about their careers, they can talk about their educational pathways, those kinds of things, so that everybody can see themselves in those positions and understand that it's real. It's not just stuff that we're blowing smoke.
All right. Now, when students come through this program, they're high school kids, right?
No, we have both middle school and high schools. They actually have 3 programs. So they have the grade school stuff. So for K through 5, there's 3 free video games. And they also just came out with a literary series. So there's some little storybooks as well for those kids, just to learn awareness. And then by middle school, we start the competition. So middle school only competes against middle school. And then we have also another division called Open Division, and that's where the high school kids all play. And it's not just, by the way, high school teams. It can also be a church group. It can be a rec center. All of those kind of areas can make themselves a team. Homeschool kids can make themselves a team. So we're not worried about next season. If we have to do it virtually, this is not a problem for this group, because they're used to doing this virtually and delivering it that way. I mean, and that's part of the deal why it's not as cost prohibitive, because we don't have to move them anywhere, right? We don't have to transport kids.
Right. Talk a little bit about the elementary school part of this, how it starts. It basically starts with training in how to be safe online for the younger ones, right?
Right. We want to make sure that they're being careful, right? They're not oversharing. They're not talking to people that they shouldn't be, those kind of things. But we're not doing it in a lecture time way or any kind of way we would do it with older kids. We're doing it with video games. So there are 3 age-appropriate video games for kindergartners, 2nd grader and 3rd graders, and then, 4th and 5th graders. that sort of work their way towards becoming cybersecurity more aware and more able to keep themselves safe. So at first it's just an awareness, and it's just fun little video games that they're playing. They don't really know that they're learning. They're just having fun and getting points and that kind of thing. One of them is a kind of like I can't remember what the darn game was, but Space Invaders or Space Asteroids or whatever that was, the very, very older game, where you're shooting lasers at things. So they talk about it being malware, and you need to have virus protection and that kind of thing. And then if you have virus protection, you can bring down the bad guys that are coming at you and all that kind of good stuff. So you have a good time. My grandchildren have tried it and they said it's okay.
Okay, great.
I'm not going to get way over the top because they love all these wonderful video games, and this is not real complicated, right? It's not got all the bells and whistles that some of the, gamer community is looking for, but it's a really good tool. And there's a ton of resources that I can give in that area as well.
And then for the high school kids, when they come out of there, do they typically go into some STEM-related fields or cybersecurity-related fields, or how do you track them after that?
So that's the really important piece, is that we're trying to inspire them to go into STEM educational fields, right? We're trying to get them to use their big brain, right, and not their physical brawn in order to get where they need to get to. And we try to show them all the different pathways, right? There's no straight line. There's not one way to do it. And at the end of the day, if they've been involved in Cyber Patriot, they also will have a micro credential when they leave, because they'll have some digital badging so that they can take and put those on their transcripts and on their resumes. And so they've had some hands-on experience, right? That real live fire hands-on experience that they can take with them and build from there. And then again, we've told them all the different pathways, right? We've spent a lot of time with them because this is an after-school program and it happens for quite a while. In fact, the season is from October until February, but truly teams that are taking this seriously continue all year round, because there are practice rounds that continue through the season, all the way around, so that you can continue to practice. And so a lot of these kids go for other credentialing, because this work, the coaches that are really working it really hard are taking this material and putting it into their everyday teaching and expanding on the things in cybersecurity that they're doing in the classroom. We're real excited about the growth.
And do college recruiters, I know you probably like to recruit a few of these folks to your program at Detroit Mercy, but do other college recruiters work these kids too? I mean, I'm thinking of a small STEM school in Southfield, perhaps,
There you go. Yeah.
There.
I'm sure if LTU saw Cyber Patriot on their transcripts, they would understand that they've gotten hands-on experience, and that they would definitely be somebody that they'd want to pull into their IT, department. But both educators, educators and employers already know to look for Cyber Patriot on kids' resumes. It's a national program. There was over 6,500 teams across the country playing. It's in Canada, it's in Australia, it's in the UK. So it's huge, and employers know for sure to look for these kids.
All right, we got about a minute left, actually less than a minute. So quickly, one more time, where is that URL, website address, if people can find out more information?
So it's MICyberpatriot.com, and you can get all the information for the season, everything that we're doing. We normally have a spring event where we thank everybody and give trophies out for the state leaders. We weren't able to do that this year. We're going to probably have to do that virtually. And all the camp information is all there. Just easy to follow links. You can just go right to the registration. I've already started to get some registrations.
All right, good. All right, thanks very much, Tamara Shoemaker with Michigan Cyber Patriot UD Mercy. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank
Traditional
you.
four-year students love Lawrence Technological University's thriving campus life. But LTU has always met non-traditional students' needs too. Lawrence Tech offers over 100 degree and certificate programs that can get adult students started or back on track. And most of our classes are conveniently offered evenings at our beautiful Southfield campus or online, so you can balance your social, family, and work life even while you power up your career. Lawrence Tech, where Blue Devils dare.